At 15, I was left behind at the airport, the amazing truth that changed my life forever. Jamie Thompson stood at the edge of the bustling terminal, heart racing with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Heading to California felt like a dream, a family trip loaded with possibilities. Instead, it became a nightmare when their plans shattered in a heartbreaking twist. Just as Jamie's parents grabbed their bags, a phone call shattered the moment. An emergency back home could not be ignored. In a gut-wrenching decision, they turned to Jamie, eyes filled with guilt. "We need to go," they said, leaving Jamie standing alone, abandoned among the flurrying families and travelers. A wave of confusion crashed over Jamie. They were supposed to be on an adventure, not left behind like some forgotten detail. The noise swirled, the announcements, laughter, and steps of travelers, the chaos overwhelming. Friends at school flaunted tales of easy vacations and carefree lives, while Jamie wrestled with the stark reality of life as the child of small business owners. The weight of economic struggle pressed on them like a heavy backpack. With every step through the terminal, they felt more isolated, standing in a world where everyone seemed to be escaping, while they were trapped. That was when Jamie's gaze landed on Tom, a weathered war veteran sitting alone, his eyes lost in thought. Their paths crossed, and Jamie found themselves sharing their despair. "I fought battles no one could see," Tom said, his voice deep yet soothing. "But those are nothing compared to the battles in life." Jamie listened, captivated. The man's words cracked something open inside them. Hope began to flicker. Maybe resilience could be borrowed, shared even. It was a thought that stirred something deep, hinting at strength beyond their years. Then, desperation took hold. Jamie hatched a plan. What if they could catch up with their family on the next flight? However, the idea spiraled out of control, leading them to the point of failure. With every attempt, they felt the sting of isolation deepening reluctantly, like a wound that wouldn't heal. Failure became a familiar weight, cementing their feelings of abandonment and self-doubt. That in a moment of clarity, Jamie reached for their phone and called home. Anxiety creased their brow, but determination filled their voice. "Why did you leave me?" they asked between breaths. As emotions poured out, forgotten love and loyalty spilled onto the call. "We're a family. I can't be left behind." The silence on the other end was heavy. When their mom finally spoke, Jamie held on to the promise of understanding. Every word became a lifeline, stitching their frayed connection. When they hung up, uncertainty welcomed them back like an old friend. Had their heartfelt plea mended the gap, or was the strain of responsibility too great? As the soft airport lights flickered around them, Jamie lingered at the crossroads of uncertainty and potential. Would they take charge, help heal their family, or remain lost in the shadows of something they couldn't control? As Jamie wrestled with their feelings, the question loomed: would this be the dawn of a new beginning, or just the beginning of a deeper struggle? Jamie stared at the terminal's swirling crowd, each face reflecting purpose and direction while they felt adrift. The conversation with their mom replayed in their mind, soothing yet fraught with worry. What would happen next? What could they do to fix this? Suddenly, Jamie remembered Tom. The veteran had talked about battles, and now they understood that theirs was about to begin. They didn't want to be just a footnote in someone else's story. They felt a surge of determination. Jamie decided to take charge of their situation like a captain steering a ship through stormy seas. First things first, find a way home, not just to escape the airport, but to reclaim their sense of belonging. Pulling up a map on their phone, Jamie quickly scanned for bus routes and connections. A hushed determination settled over them as they scribbled notes on discarded napkins, pinning down the details of how they could get back to their family in an effort to express that they wanted to be part of the solution, not just an afterthought. As they stepped away from the bustle, an unexpected tear rolled down their cheek. It wasn't just sadness, it was a mix of newfound resolve and hurt. Calling about their feelings had been hard, yet it had unbroken something essential. Clenching the napkin, they squeezed it tight, hoping it would absorb every ounce of uncertainty. With each step toward the bus terminal, a sense of clarity washed over Jamie. If their family was in trouble, they needed to understand that they were a part of the solution. Could they help? Should they be the one to start the healing? The world didn't stop, but that's not what mattered right now. What mattered was family. They couldn't be broken, they had to work together. When Jamie arrived at the bus terminal, worn yet energized, something caught their eye. A mother and her young daughter were huddled together, the child clutching a stuffed bear as they stared down at a handwritten sign that said traveling to Portland. Jamie's heart melted at the sight. The weight of separation must have felt just as heavy for them too. In that moment, Jamie felt a connection. They approached the duo, nervously introducing themselves. "Hey, I'm Jamie. Can I help?" Surprise colored the mother's face. "That's so kind of you. We're trying to figure out the best route to the bus station." It dawned on Jamie, it felt good to be helpful. For the first time since being left behind, they didn't feel alone. They realized that helping others might just heal themselves too. Together, they figured out a route, shared laughs, and exchanged fears in the crowded terminal. Conversations unfolded, each story a reflection of their struggles, hopes, and dreams. "I'm just trying to get home," Jamie said quietly, a hint of vulnerability breaking through. The mother reached out, placing a hand on Jamie's shoulder. "Home is where you feel loved, and you will find your way back." As their hearts mingled, Jamie felt a warmth bloom within them, a flicker of resilience. Maybe this wasn't just about reclaiming life from the shadows. Perhaps it was about discovering strength through understanding. Just then, Jamie's phone buzzed. It was a message from their mom. "We're coming back for you soon. Hang in there, we love you." Tears stung their eyes again, but this time they were filled with hope. Would Jamie's new connections pave a path to healing for their family? And could they lean into the powerful bond forming between their newfound friends? That thought hung in the air, creating a sense of anticipation. What awaited them on the journey back home? Jamie took a deep breath, their spirits buoyed by the message from their mom. Despite the bittersweet tinge of tears, there was a flicker of excitement, a resurgence of hope. The mother and daughter shared encouraging smiles, and Jamie realized that despite their own turbulence, they weren't alone in the chaos. "Where are you coming from?" Jamie asked, hoping to keep the connection alive. "We were visiting family in Texas," the mother replied, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "But now we need to get back home. The flight was canceled due to some storm." "You?" "Just trying to find my way back home too," Jamie admitted, nodding. "Things have been rough at home lately. I just want to make things better." "Family is everything," the mother said, her eyes softening with understanding. "And sometimes, it takes a storm to find the strength we didn't know we had." Encouraged by her words, Jamie felt warmth blossom again in their chest. Maybe this moment was a sign. Maybe here, among strangers, was where they'd find a way to heal not just for themselves, but for their family too. As they continued mapping the route, Jamie couldn't help but glance at the little girl. She wore a bright yellow raincoat, a bit too big for her, with polka dots splattered across it. Her stuffed bear, a soft brown thing with a slightly torn ear, had a look that reminded Jamie of resilience. The little girl clutched it as if it was her anchor amid the storm. "I like your bear," Jamie said gently. The girl looked up, her big, round eyes glimmering. "His name is Mr. Cuddles. He always helps me feel brave." Mr. Cuddles. The name sparked something deep inside Jamie. "I could use a Mr. Cuddles right now," they said, a smile breaking the tension. The girl giggled, and for a moment, the weight of the airport vanished. They were just three people in a sea of uncertainty, finding joy in a shared conversation. As the bus was announced, Jamie helped the mother and daughter gather their things. They walked toward the boarding area, laughter ringing through the terminal, a melody that chased away the shadows momentarily. With every step, Jamie felt a shift, a subtle change inside them, like a door unlocking. Upon reaching the bus, the mother turned to Jamie. "What are you going to do when you get home?" I want to talk to my family. To let them know I'm here for them. To show them that we can make it through this." "But I'm scared," Jamie admitted, their voice trembling just a little. The mother leaned closer, her tone soft yet firm. "You're already doing something brave, Jamie. Just being here, talking about it, that's a big step. Sometimes, it's not about perfection, it's about being there for each other." As they boarded the bus, Jamie found a seat near the window, their heart racing with each passing mile. The view blurred outside, flashes of color merging into a kaleidoscope of hope. The little girl sat next to them, Mr. Cuddles firmly in her grip, reminding Jamie that strength often comes in unexpected forms. Then, just as the bus began to move, Jamie's phone buzzed again. It was another message from their mom, but this one was different. When we get there, let us talk. I think we need to have a family meeting. Can we make things better? With their heart pounding wildly, Jamie stared at the screen, feeling the gravity of this message. A family meeting? The thought sent chills up their spine. What might be revealed? The light ahead felt both daunting and exhilarating, and the hum of the bus. Jamie held on to that hope, staring out at the indistinct horizon. What would that family meeting mean for them? And would it help them forge a new path forward together? A new urgency pressed upon them. Change was coming fast. But was Jamie truly ready to face it all? The bus rumbled down the highway, the rhythmic thud of tires on asphalt a comforting hum. Jamie watched the world outside shift from concrete jungles to grassy fields, their mind racing with the possibilities of what lay ahead. Each blink brought new landscapes, new thoughts, swirling around like the clouds overhead. What would this family meeting reveal? Would it bring healing or just more chaos? The little girl leaned against Jamie, Mr. Cuddles snugly by her side. Do you think your family will be okay? She asked, her voice soft but filled with concern. I hope so, Jamie replied, painfully aware that hope often felt like a fragile thread. It's just everything feels so broken right now. I want it to be better, but I don't know where to start. The mother joined their conversation, gently offering, it's okay to feel scared, honey. Change is hard. It means admitting things aren't the way we wish they were, but it's also a chance for something new. Jamie absorbed her words, letting them settle like raindrops on dry earth. Each one felt like a tiny reassurance that maybe they didn't have to carry this weight alone. As the bus continued its journey, Jamie turned the thoughts over in their mind like stones on a riverbank. Would their family accept the changes that were needed? Or would they resist, pushing Jamie away just when they need each other the most? Questions loomed larger than life, wrapping around their heart until it felt like a tight knot. The little girl tugged at Jamie's sleeve. Can I tell you a secret? Of course. Jamie leaned in, intrigued by the sudden spark in her eyes. When I feel scared, I talk to Mr. Cuddles, she whispered, her lips curling into a conspiratorial smile. He always says that it's okay to be brave even when you're scared. Jamie laughed, a genuine sound that broke through the tension. I like that advice. Mr. Cuddles seems like a wise bear. Yeah. And he says that families can make it through anything, even storms. Jamie's heart swelled at her words. Maybe the little girl was right. Maybe families were meant to weather storms together, supporting one another, holding on through the fear and uncertainty. They weren't so different, after all. Just a couple of wayward souls on a bus, holding on to the same flicker of hope. Then, the bus came to a clattering halt, interrupting the warmth of the moment. Jamie glanced out the window, realizing it was a rest stop. The mother and daughter stood, gathering their things. Let us stretch our legs. It might help clear our minds, the mother suggested, reaching down to help her daughter. As they stepped off the bus, Jamie felt the rush of cool air against their face. It was invigorating. They had a chance to breathe, to gather thoughts. With the crispness of the moment surrounding them, Jamie suddenly noticed a small diner on the opposite side of the parking lot. A neon sign flickered, saying open 24 hours. The thought struck them, maybe they could grab a cup of coffee or a snack. The promise of a warm drink seemed like a balm to the unease burning in their stomach. The mother spotted where Jamie was looking and nodded. How about we grab something to eat? It might help us feel better and more prepared for whatever's ahead. Her words held promise, and Jamie felt a rush of excitement. That sounds great. They quickly shared the idea with the little girl, who bounced at the suggestion. As they walked towards the diner, Jamie felt a swell of camaraderie. They may not have all the answers, but they had each other in this moment. Each footstep felt like a small act of bravery, but just as they reached the doors, Jamie's phone buzzed again. It was another message from their mom, and this one chilled them to the bone. I need you to prepare for the meeting. I'm not sure how to tell you, but it might change everything. We can't go back to how things were. A new wave of uncertainty washed over Jamie. They paused, staring at the screen, dread setting in. What was waiting for them after this? Their heart raced again. Was this family meeting about healing, or was it about unraveling everything they thought they knew? As the mother and daughter turned to them, Jamie could feel the weight of the moment, teetering between hope and fear. They took a deep breath, preparing to step through that door into the diner, and into whatever awaited them together. What truth would this meeting uncover? Would it forge a new path for them, or shatter their hopes even further? The bell above the diner's door chimed as they stepped inside. The warm air enveloped Jamie like a hug, offering a brief reprieve from the chill of uncertainty outside. The smell of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the scent of pancakes sizzling on a griddle. It felt like a small world, cocooned and bustling, and for a moment, Jamie let the familiar sounds wash over them. The little girl darted ahead, her laughter echoing against the diner's retro decor. Jamie watched her, struck by the innocence she carried, and for a fleeting moment, Jamie yearned to embrace that carefree spirit. Let us find a booth, the mother suggested, pulling Jamie from their thoughts. They settled into a corner, and Jamie picked up the laminated menu, scanning it absently. The words blurred together, and they could barely focus. Instead, they caught glimpses of the booths around them, a couple sharing fries, a group of travelers discussing their next destination, laughter punctuating the air like fireworks. Are you okay? The little girl's voice broke through Jamie's reverie. She was nibbling on a piece of bread, crumbs dotting the table. Just a little nervous, Jamie admitted, trying to maintain a brave face. Me too, she said, her eyes wide. But Mr. Cuddles says it's okay to feel that way, especially before something big. Jamie smiled at her earnestness, the weight in their chest easing a little. What else does he say? That life is like a roller coaster. It goes up and down, and sometimes it's scary, but it's always exciting. Her words ignited something warm inside Jamie. They couldn't help but think of their own roller coaster moments clattering together, from jubilant highs to terrifying lows. Life was unpredictable, and maybe this meeting was just another turn on that ride. The waitress arrived, a cheerful presence with a notepad in hand. What can I get for you folks? Her smile felt genuine, and Jamie sensed something comforting in it. Coffee for me, the mother replied. And what about you too? Chocolate milk. The little girl chimed in. Jamie hesitated but finally settled on a milkshake. It felt indulgent, a comforting flicker against the storm of anxiety coiling within. As they placed their orders, Jamie's phone vibrated once more, a relentless reminder of the impending meeting. They glanced at the screen again. Just breathe, they whispered under their breath, trying to silence the growing dread. You okay? The mother asked, noticing Jamie's sudden tightness. Yeah, just thinking about what's next. The mother reached out, giving Jamie's hand a gentle squeeze. Whatever comes, we'll figure it out together. You're not alone in this. Her warmth felt like a lifeline, and Jamie's heart swelled yet again. For the first time, they realized that acceptance could stem from shared burdens. This family, even if tangentially connected, had somehow found their way to one another during a time of upheaval. Moments passed, filled with conversation and the clatter of dishes. With each sip of chocolate milk, the little girl shared stories of her adventures, her spirit lighting the room. Jamie listened and felt the knots in their heart begin to loosen, just a bit. Then, the mother turned serious. You know, Jamie, families don't just have to be about blood. It's about who you choose to hold close. What matters is the journey, the memories we make along the way. It hit Jamie like a wave crashing against rocks. Perhaps healing their family meant redefining what it meant to be family after all. As the waitress returned with their meals, love settled around them, a warm embrace against the chilly truth looming ahead. As conversations flowed more easily, Jamie felt the undercurrents of anxiety shift. The meeting would still be there, waiting for them, an unknown ripple in their lives. But for now, they would breathe, they would share this moment, and maybe, just maybe, life's roller coaster would take an unexpected turn that led to hope, but then, as they stood to leave the booth, Jamie's phone buzzed again. They hesitated, dread clawing at their insides. What more could their mom possibly say? Would the next message drive the cloud heavier or offer light? Jamie took a deep breath, glancing at the little girl and her mother, steeling themselves for whatever lay ahead, hoping they would be able to face it all, together. Jamie's heart raced as they stared at the phone. It felt as if the whole diner had dimmed, the chatter and clinking dishes fading into muffled echoes. With a trembling hand, they swiped to unlock the screen, reading the latest message from their mother, each word heavy with anticipation. Jamie, where are you? We need to talk. It's important. The simple sentence weighed on them like a lead blanket. It's important. How many times had they heard that phrase before? It always seemed to arrive right before a storm brewed in their relationship, fraught with tension and unspoken words. Jamie? The mother of the little girl leaned closer, a concerned look etched on her face. You all right? You look pale. Swallowing hard, Jamie nodded, forcing a smile. Yeah, just a little overwhelmed. They glanced towards the exit as if the answer to their unasked questions lay beyond the glass doors. The little girl, somehow sensing Jamie's struggle, reached out to touch their arm. Do you want to play a game? It'll make you smile. She beamed up at them, her innocence a refreshing balm. Sure, what game? Jamie found solace in her spirit, grateful for the distraction. Let us pretend we're explorers. We can find treasure in the diner. She clapped her hands, every ounce of enthusiasm contagious. All right, let us find that treasure. Jamie laughed, momentarily set free from the weight of their worries. They got caught up in her game, searching for hidden gems in the old-fashioned diner, mismatched salt shakers and colorful wall art standing in as valuable artifacts. As they played, Jamie noticed the mother watching them, a proud smile on her face. You have a gift with kids, Jamie. They can sense when someone is feeling a bit down, and your energy makes it better. Maybe that's the real treasure, Jamie said softly, glancing at the little girl, who was genuinely happy and lost in her imagination. Finding moments like this. But the bliss was fleeting, it shimmered before Jamie like sunlight through clouds. The phone buzzed again, this time vibrating ominously against the linoleum table. They steeled themselves, glancing briefly at the mother, who was still engrossed in her daughter's laughter. Taking a deep breath, Jamie picked up the phone and looked at the screen, heart racing anew. The message was short but cutting. I'm at the house. You need to come home now. Jamie's stomach twisted. The impending panic set in. Part of them knew they couldn't ignore the request, but the urge to flee was just as strong. I think I need to go, they finally said, a tremor in their voice. Is everything okay? The worry in the mother's tone was unmistakable. Not really. Jamie hesitated, weighing the comfort of this unexpected family against the looming storm awaiting them. But I'll be all right. Can we help? Maybe I can. No. The word burst out before they realized it. The diner felt stifling now, the walls closing in. Jamie looked down, cheeks flushing with embarrassment. I'm sorry. I need to handle this on my own. The little girl reached for Jamie's hand. You're brave, you know. Like a superhero. Superheroes always face scary stuff, but they come back stronger. Jamie squeezed her hand, touched by her perspective. They needed that courage right now. Summoning every ounce, they stood up, ready to leave. Thank you for this day, Jamie said, looking at the mother and her daughter, words heavy with unspoken gratitude. As they turned to walk away, Jamie felt the surge of anxiety mixed with a sliver of hope. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end, but as the door swung shut behind them, Jamie took one last glance back. They knew the journey ahead was fraught with uncertainty, but the love shared today wouldn't be forgotten. Yet, a lingering question nagged at the back of their mind: what awaited them at home? Would it push them further into the abyss or pull them out into the light? With their heart pounding, they stepped into the chilly air, prepared to confront the unknown. As Jamie walked away from the warmth of the diner, the chill of reality set in, biting at their skin. Each step towards the house felt heavier, like walking through molasses. The world around them spun with questions that seemed to drown out everything else. Why was their mother waiting? What could be so important? And why did it gnaw at Jamie's insides like an ever-tightening coil? The streets were eerily quiet, save for the faint echo of their own footsteps. Jamie glanced down at the phone, still gripped in their hand. The screen showed the same message, taunting yet petrifying. I'm at the house. You need to come home now. It felt like a summons. A verdict. Clenching their jaw, Jamie picked up the pace. As their heartbeat quickened, old memories flashed, a cacophony of forgotten conversations, frustrated voices, and unhealed rifts that seemed to insistently replay in their mind. There had been times when they were small, curled up in a ball, wishing for understanding instead of the usual discord. Could they handle another confrontation? What if this was yet another moment of reckoning? Like so many before it, crossing the street, Jamie noticed a group of kids playing basketball nearby, laughter spilling into the air. For a brief second, the sound seemed like a distant dream. They longed for that uncomplicated joy but felt the gravity of impending adult realities pressing down. As they turned onto their street, the familiar sights of home brought a wave of conflicting emotions. The porch light flickered on, illuminating the entrance, a beacon of hope intertwined with anxiety. With a deep breath, Jamie stepped onto the front porch, hesitating just outside the door. A feeling of dread washed over them, the warmth radiating from the house only deepening their chills. Pushing the door open, Jamie was met with the unmistakable scent of cinnamon and something burned, a stark reminder of their mother's latest culinary adventures. It felt ordinary, yet everything was about to change. Jamie? Their mother's voice broke through the air, taut and brittle. She stood in the kitchen, hands bracing against the countertop, her expression shifting from concern to apprehension. I got your message, Jamie said, keeping their tone even, fighting down the wave of emotions ready to crash. I didn't know how else to reach you. Her voice trembled slightly. There's something we need to address. Please, sit. The word please hung in the air, drawing Jamie closer to the kitchen table. They lowered themselves into a chair, feeling more like a child than ever. The warmth of the diner felt like a lifetime away. As they waited for their mother to unravel the truth, she took a deep breath, the kind that suggested she was preparing for something monumental. It's about your father. The mention of him sent a shiver down Jamie's spine, memories of strained relationships dancing unwelcomely in their mind. They knew too well that the conversation would not be easy. Mom, is it bad? Jamie's voice was barely a whisper, an uneasy weight resting heavily on their chest. It's complicated, she began but paused, searching for words. It felt like they were standing on the edge of something vast and deep. Her gaze softened, as if she hoped to bridge the chasm between them. Can you trust me to tell you everything? As she began to speak, Jamie felt time freeze, their heart pounding with fear and curiosity. What secrets would unravel before them? Just then, the sound of a door slamming from upstairs startled both of them. Jamie's heart dropped. Was there someone else home? Who could it be, and how would it change the unfolding truth? As Jamie's eyes darted toward the staircase, they felt trapped in a moment of profound uncertainty, a realization dawning that this conversation might be just the beginning. What awaited them next was anyone's guess. The thud of the door echoed through the house, slicing through the fragile tension between Jamie and their mother. Jamie's pulse raced, a mixture of fear and hope spiraling in their gut. They turned towards the stairs, expecting to see a face they might recognize, or worst, a ghost from the past. Mom, what is going on? Jamie managed, their voice strained. Their mother's brow furrowed deeper, anxiety etching lines across her forehead. Just give me a moment, Jamie. Let us not jump to conclusions. Jamie tried to ignore the uncertainty twisting within them. They focused on the warmth of the kitchen, a stark contrast to the cold dread pooling in their heart. The kitchen, usually a haven filled with laughter and sweet aromas, now seemed more like a stage for an impending drama. Which role were they meant to play? Suddenly, footsteps thudded down the stairs, heavy and hurried. A silhouette appeared at the end of the dim hallway, trembling with uncertainty. Jamie squinted, waiting for the dim light to reveal the source of their anxiety. Jenna? Jamie exhaled, disbelief sending a shiver down their spine. Jenna, Jamie's older sister, stood before them, hair disheveled, eyes wide, as if she had just stumbled into a waking nightmare. How did you get here? Jamie didn't mask the resentment in their voice. Why wasn't Jenna there when the family was falling apart? Hadn't they both been running from the same ghosts? She stepped closer, breathless, and Jamie could see emotion flicker across her face, a hint of guilt merging with defiance. I came back. Mom texted me. I thought I'd finally face it. At that moment, Jamie's heart felt like it was caught in a vice. The family they had known, the one they had fought to hold together, was unraveling right in front of them. Face what? Are we even still a family? There's so much we haven't talked about. Jenna's shoulders sagged, frustration swirling into something softer beneath her breath. I know, Jamie. But maybe now's the time to figure it out. Their mother cleared her throat, bringing the conversation back into focus. Listen, I called both of you here because it's not just about your father anymore. It's about our family, what we have become and what we need to face. Jamie opened their mouth to interject, but their mother's eyes held a promise that silenced them. In that moment, the noise around them faded. It was as if time itself paused, allowing the weight of their reality to settle heavy, yet unmistakably real. I have something to show you both, their mother continued, voice trembling, the tension thickening with every word. Something I've kept hidden for too long. The gravity of her revelation hung in the air, and Jamie felt that familiar coil in their stomach tighten again. Whatever this was, it could change everything. Jamie exchanged a glance with Jenna, the nostalgia of childhood battles between them flowing through their shared unspoken language. What did you find? Jenna asked quietly, the fear in her tone almost palpable. Their mother's gaze flickered downward, her hands shaking ever so slightly. This is about your father's past and ours. If we want to move forward, we need to understand what he left behind, she said, her face tightening with resolve. Jamie's heartbeat quickened. Every instinct screamed to retreat, to shield themselves from whatever shadow loomed ahead. Yet, a flicker of curiosity ignited within them. What had their father hidden? What truths had he buried to protect them? The moment stretched impossibly, intertwining fear and intrigue. The air thickened with possibilities, each one more devastating yet intriguing than the last. As their mother reached into a nearby drawer, Jamie knew they were about to uncover something that could shatter their family or, perhaps, finally unite them. But what she didn't expect as she pulled out a dusty envelope was for the fragile web threading their lives together to either tighten or snap altogether. What lay inside could either heal them or pull them further apart. Jamie held their breath as their mother delicately set the dusty envelope on the table, the sound of it hitting the wood echoing like a time bomb ticking down. Their heart raced, a chaotic rhythm of apprehension and a bittersweet hope. Mom? Jenna's voice was barely a whisper, as if speaking too loudly might break whatever fragile spell had settled over them. Their mother bit her lip, visibly steeling herself. I didn't want to tell you this, not like this. But you both deserve to know. We all do. The kitchen felt smaller, the weight of family secrets pressing in from all sides. Jamie's hands trembled slightly, and they wished for the comfort of normalcy. They remembered laughing with Jenna over burnt pancakes just a week before their world began to unravel. Now, it all seemed so distant. With a deep breath, their mother tore open the envelope, the paper crumbling under her touch like dried leaves. Inside lay several photographs, dog-eared and stained with age. She laid them out on the table, one by one. Jamie leaned forward, curiosity battling the thickening dread. The first picture revealed a younger version of their father, grinning broadly beside a woman Jamie didn't recognize. They exchanged glances with Jenna, confusion etched on both their faces. As their mother continued, she pointed to more photographs, each one showing their father in various situations, each one with the same stranger. They were close, so close, their mother said, her voice cracking. I thought it was a phase, something he would outgrow. But it wasn't. They shared a life together, one I never knew about. Jenna's eyes narrowed, the gears turning in her mind. This isn't possible. Why didn't you tell us? Who is she? And why didn't Dad say anything? Their mother's shoulders slumped, tears welling but not cascading down her cheeks. I was trying to protect you both. I thought if we could just hold on long enough, maybe it would all make sense, but it didn't. It just got more complicated. Jamie felt their heart plummet. A betrayal whispered through their mind. Did this woman take their father away from them? Was he part of a world they would never know? As if sensing their turmoil, their mother reached out, placing a hand on Jamie's, warmth mingling with the pain. I understand your anger. You have every right to feel it. But holding this secret only kept us further from the truth. A silence hung between them, charged with unspoken questions. Jamie's breath hitched. They spoke quietly. What do we do now? Do we even want to know more about him? Their mother's gaze drifted back to the photographs. That depends on you too. This isn't just about your dad anymore, it's about us, about who we are and what we might become. Jamie felt a sudden burst of determination. Maybe digging into their father's secrets could lead them to clarity, or at the very least, closure. But was it worth risking everything they held dear? Can't we just pretend this doesn't exist? Jenna's voice trembled, the reality of their father's hidden life crashing down on them. No, their mother said firmly, brushing her fingers across the pictures. We need to confront this, together. Only then can we heal. Jamie looked at Jenna, their eyes searching for an ally in this storm. The moment felt monumental, as if tipping from the precipice of childhood into something uncertain but compelling. As Jamie's mind whirled, the realization dawned, they were at a crossroads. This could lead to a deeper understanding of their father or plunge them into an abyss of unresolved feelings. Okay, Jenna finally whispered, her voice steadying. Let us uncover what's been hidden. But we do this as a family together. With a united front, uncertainty lingered in the air as they all leaned in closer to the photographs. What were they about to discover? The envelope still lay on the table, a portal to connections forged in the past. Jamie's thoughts raced. Was the next photograph the key to unlocking the life they never had? And then there it was, a forgotten note tucked behind the last picture, bearing a message that could change everything. With trembling fingers, Jamie reached for it, already knowing that their next choice could either bind them together or tear them apart forever. As the envelope crinkled under Jamie's fingertips, a chill ran down their spine. The room was thick with anticipation, air heavy with secrets waiting to be unveiled. Jamie unfolded the note, heart pounding, as their eyes skimmed over the handwriting, unfamiliar yet painfully intimate. Dear Jamie and Jenna, it began, written in their father's script, clumsy and endearing. If you're reading this, then there's much I need to explain. Time froze. Jamie's breath caught, each line feeling like a gut punch. This was at the moment they had both dreaded and longed for. Their mother watched intently, tears glistening, while Jenna leaned in closer, her expression shifting from confusion to curiosity. I never wanted to hurt you, the note continued. I thought I could protect you by keeping my past buried. But the truth has a way of clawing its way free. My love for you has never faltered, but my choices have led to shadows I wish I could erase. Jamie felt a flare of emotions: love, anger, betrayal, and a flicker of understanding. They were gripping the note like it was a lifeline. What does he mean? Jamie whispered, barely managing to speak. Let us find out, Jenna urged, leaning in. The three of them gathered around the table, ready to piece together the fragments of a life hidden behind closed doors. The next lines detailed their father's regrets, how he had faltered under life's pressures and ended up in a world he never wanted to share with his family. He mentioned that a part of him had always longed for the life he built with this other woman, but every moment spent with Jamie and Jenna had recalibrated his reality, reminding him of what truly mattered. I thought I could do it all, be the father you deserved and keep things from you both. But the truth is, I've been lost, the note penned. Jamie's heart ached as they met Jenna's eyes, both reflecting their disbelief and hurt. Each day apart has been a battle. I promise it was never meant to be this way. Please understand that I'm trying to mend what I've broken. What does this even mean? Jenna questioned, emotions churning. How can we believe anything he says after this? Maybe it's not just about believing him, Jamie replied, determination taking root. Maybe it's about understanding why he felt the need to hide. We deserve that. Jamie's voice held steady, firm and strong, realizing that this was a turning point, a time to reclaim their narrative. He's still our dad, Jamie continued, no matter how complicated everything is. We have to decide if we want to let this ruin us or if we can face it together. Their mother's hand rested on Jamie's shoulder, a silent affirmation of their resolve. I never wanted you to find out this way. But running away didn't fix anything, it only deepened the wounds, she confessed, her voice laced with genuine guilt. Now it's time to decide who we want to be as a family. Tears brimmed in Jamie's eyes as the tempest of emotions turned back into a steady flow of hope. The shadows loomed large, but together they could face the storm. As they sat there, enveloped in their shared truth, Jamie leaned forward. What if we reach out to him? What if we try to understand his side of the story? The air crackled with possibility. I'm willing to try, Jenna whispered, voice steady with newfound resolve. The conversation took form, threading between shared fears and hopes. We're not just confronting a person, we're confronting the wounds that bind us, their mother said softly, her voice breaking through the hesitation. A warmth spread through the kitchen as they finally embraced the madness swirling in their lives. They shared laughter and tears, and they spoke of dreams, fears, and possibilities. As they continued to sift through their father's notes, Jamie cradled a small flicker that began to illuminate the path forward, a collective heartbeat of healing, forged through the darkness of unspoken secrets. The last words carved into their lives were etched in the age-worn pages. This isn't just about my mistakes, this is our chance to rebuild. Wherever you stand, I'll always be in your corner. In that moment, Jamie understood. Life was messy and intertwined, filled with questions that morphed into answers over time. They could forge their story anew, encircled by family unbreakable. It would not be easy, but maybe, just maybe, that was where the real adventure began. So, hand in hand, they emerged from the depths of confusion, ready to confront whatever awaited them, heart open to the healing yet to come. The air hummed with the promise of change, no longer shadows, but light breaking through, dragging them into the warmth of belonging. Remember the power of hope, the resilience of love, in facing new beginnings. Now is the time to take action, dear friends. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about this emotional ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.